the subject matter of Zoot Suit has haunted me all my life. I was actually in Los Angeles with my parents in 1943, the summer of the Zoot Suit riots. We had family here. And I remember, I have a memory of Olvera Street pulling a little wooden army truck, you know. But we left. We left because of the violence, and we went back up north to be safe. And but I always knew about Pachucos. I grew up among Pachucos. My cousins were Pachucos. As a matter of fact, I tell the story about Sisi, which I'll share with you briefly here. And my cousin was Billy Miranda. I dedicated Zoot Suit, the original Zoot Suit, to his memory. And he was a Pachuco back in the 1940s, late 40s, in Delano. And he had a friend, a running partner called Cece. And Cece used to hang out, come over to the house, and short Indian-looking type, you know. And they were Pachucos. To me, they looked like men. They were teenagers. But what happened then is that my cousin Billy met a violent Pachuco's death in 1955, 17 knife wounds to the chest. Cece joined the Navy and went off to fight for his country, and then came back on leave and took his date, who became his wife, to the movies. Now, movie theaters were segregated in the 1940s. I remember that. I lived that. And so he sat in the orchestra section where he was, because he was serving his country. So the usher came, so you got to move. He didn't move. The manager came, you got to move. He wouldn't move. So they brought the police, and they arrested him. They picked him up and took him to the local police station in Delano. And all his friends said, "Wow, Cece's in trouble, man," you know. And so no, after 2 hours of grilling, they released him. There was no law that says you couldn't sit in the middle of the orchestra section in a movie theater. So all his friends were impressed. The next week, they all went to the movies and sat in the middle section. So the Delano Theater was desegregated. And I experienced that, seeing the wave of theaters being desegregated by these teenagers. So years later, I'm heading to Delano to join the farm workers' strike as a volunteer. I became a picket captain. And my mother says, "Oh, you're going to work with Cece." And I said, "Cece? That vato's still around?" And she laughed. And she says, "Mijo, don't you know who Cece is?" I said, "Who is he?" "Cesar Chavez."